Welcome back, Drinkstuff fans, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about setting up your home bars. This is going to be the first of 3 videos that I'm going to do for you. This one I'm going to be focusing on the bar tools and your equipment, your bartending equipment and all that kind of thing, giving you inspiration, giving you the starting points and then showing you different things that you can kind of add to your kits. In the next video that I'm going to drop in a few days after this, we're going to be talking about the sort of glasses, the basic glassware that you need to set up your home bars, and then again I'm going to show you some lovely glasses that you can kind of sort of work up to. And then in the third video in this series, I'm going to sort of talk to you about the syrups and the purees that I think you kind of need to set up your home bars. So if that sounds cool, make sure you like this video, hit the subscribe button, and then hopefully you can join me on your journey to help you improve and up your bartending game and giving you inspiration. So in this video, as I say, I'm going to be talking to you about your bar tools and where to start. Now, Drinkstuff on their website, they sell a lot of bartending kits, starter kits, kits for more premium kind of bars. And the one on screen now, I'll put on screen now, is a brilliant place for you guys to start. There's a cocktail shaker in there, there's a Hawthorn strainer in there and a fine strainer, there's a jigger, there's a muddler, there's pourers and a bar spoon. And obviously that is a fantastic place to start. But this is the very basic equipment, and you can get bigger and better equipment on the Drinkstuff website if you want to look a bit better, look a bit more premium. But actually there are tools much better if you buy individually that are more suited to the needs. So I'm going to start off with the Boston shaker on there. We've got a very simple kind of tin and glass Boston shaker. Now there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I've got one here. If you watch my videos on my other channel, you'll notice I do a lot of work with the glass Boston shaker because I want you guys to see what sort of ingredients I'm putting in my cocktails. So that works an absolute treat. I've been using these on film and cocktail masterclasses for years. But the thing with this is, that looks a bit dull and boring, doesn't it? But B, this is actually quite heavy when you compare it to something like that, tin on tin. Now tin does exactly the same job, except in 2 different ways. One is lighter, which means you can sort of throw it about a bit more. But B, because tin will also conduct heat better than glass, it means you can actually chill the cocktails down a lot quicker by using tin on tin. So that's the first way you could go. You could kind of upgrade your glass part of your Boston shaker to a tin. Predominantly these are kind of about 16 ounces, the glasses and the tins, and normally you would get a Boston tin normally about 28 ounces, but sometimes it can go down to about 24 ounces. Now, if you do want to get a bit more kind of upmarket with your Boston shakers, you can see over that shoulder, we've got some lovely kind of sort of brushed, I don't know what that's actually called, that brushed steel. And this is actually lovely. We've got a 3-piece shaker down there, which I don't actually like too much. And you can see that I'll link to another video up there, what I've done about Boston versus cobbler shakers. But this is also another 2-piece shaker. Again, you've got that again just fits inside there, so you've got that as well. So if that's your colour, if that's your style, you could go that way. However, if you watch my channel, you'll notice that I kind of do rock out these. I love a bit of sort of colour in that. There's loads of different colours. There's an orange and I forget the other colour of this available now. So you can kind of go these, and these again will work with tin on tin. If you want to go that way, again, they'll work with tin on glass. Absolutely no problems there. And there's loads and loads and loads more. The other 2 I've just got off the shelves just to show you. We've got a really cool tin on tin tiki style cocktail shaker. Again, a bit more expensive, but they do make your home bars look cool. And then the final one I'm going to show you is sort of the bronze. And these are, again, really lovely. I've got some of these on my other back bar at home. Again, just kind of bronze, copper, whatever you want to call them. They're just lovely. There's lot, depending on, you know, if you want to style your home bar to your actual house, you know, depending on what colour schemes your house has got, there's normally a cocktail shaking kit to suit you at home. Now, the next way I'm going to go is with your Hawthorn strainer. Now, this is the one I've just quickly nipped off the back there. This, for me, is the absolute basic in Hawthorn strainers. Now, the thing you might, as an amateur, as a novice, kind of looking at a Hawthorn strainer, you might think, what is the difference? Like, why should we spend in, let's be honest, these are literally a couple of quid on the Drinkstuff website. But why should we invest a bit more money in Hawthorn strainers? Well, it all comes down to ease of use, but B, the actual coils on the springs. Now, I've just picked up another one off the shelf around the corner. This is a very different, more premium Hawthorn strainer, and what you'll see if I hold it down there on the close-up, you'll see that the springs are way more tightly coiled. Now what that will do is that will stop even more tiny little shards of ice coming through, any little bits of fruit, to actually save you sometimes using something like a fine strainer. Okay, so when we talk about double straining on cocktails, we would essentially put that over our cocktail tin and we would pour through there, and that will catch any tiny little shards of fruit, ice, anything like that. However, for speed, if you want to go for something a bit more premium, something that's very, very tightly coiled like that, again, most of the time you actually won't need to double strain. And especially if speed is your thing, I've put the cocktail tins away now, but you could essentially do 2 cocktails at the same time without double straining. You can kind of hold them like that. So I would always invest, and I've broken this one now, I would always invest in a better Hawthorn strainer. That is definitely something that I would go. And just to show you some different types here, I've just got them off the bar around the corner. We've got something like that. This is, I think this is kind of be classed as the gunmetal black on there. Again, we've got that. You'll see some have got 4 prongs that will kind of just sit on, will cut, and as if by magic will come back. The four pronged Hawthorn strainer will just sit nicely on top there of your tin, just kind of like that. It will just sit there quite happily, no dramas. Whereas you get something like this without the prongs, can actually go much further into your cocktail shaker, kind of like that. So again, you'll see some with 2 prongs, whatever your preference is. I kind of like the really heavy ones now that fit kind of all the way sort of into the cocktail shaker. Like, I really kind of like that. That's what I use at home. So that's Hawthorn strainers. And then just to very quickly cover fine strainers, you've seen I just use very, very basic ones at home. Again, on the Drinkstuff website, literally a couple of quid. You could even, this is the one I brought from home because I wasn't even sure whether there was one in the showroom. This has got bits of lemon in it and stuff, but you can actually get posher ones that complement the set. Which one is it? They kind of go with there. Yeah, I think there's always times where you do need to fine strain cocktails because you want that lovely, especially martinis and coupe sort of drinks. You just want lovely smooth drinks. You don't want any little tiny bits of ice in there at all. So for me, there's always a need to fine strain. However, when you're doing kind of daiquiris, the more sort of fun martinis and that kind of stuff, sometimes, you know, just those couple of little tiny shards of ice are cool, and that's when you go for a finely coiled Hawthorn strainer. Right, so the next part of your toolkit I'm going to go on to now is bar spoons. Now, the one in the set, and I'll quickly flash it up on screen now, I'll be honest, that's exactly what I use in my business, in my cocktail masterclasses. I have got lots and lots and lots of them. Why? Because again, they are less than £2 and are perfect. However, for me, when I'm making cocktails, no, I don't use them. I find them really hard to use. I find them completely unbalanced as well. So I've got 2 of my spoons here. These are actually 2 that I brought from home, but I've just actually pulled in some from off the shelves around me as well. So the different styles we've got. Let's just focus on, this is the sort of the cheaper standard one. You'll always have a little plate on the bottom there and kind of an inline spoon, if you like, completely flat. Now, as I say, this is very similar to the one in the cocktail kit, but I really, really struggle to stir with this quickly in a mixing glass or in your Boston shaker. The little disc end of that, a couple of different uses for that. Sometimes quickly muddle soft fruit like raspberries and strawberries and things like that. But the actual other thing as well is layering shots, so B52s, things like that. You could pour your Kahlua in the bottom, and then just to kind of layer the Baileys, you could pour it down the spirals in there, and it'll just sort of nicely sit on top if you put that on top of the liquid. So we've got that kind of spoon. We've also got a spoon, this is slightly bent on there. Again, this is more for just like maybe layering things, but actually just pulling things out of drinks. And again, the fork, if you want to like put an orange or a lemon or something in there. But let's get on to the more kind of spoons that I would use. I love what they call sort of teardrop spoons, and they have this kind of weight on the end like that. And I will get onto my spoons. These are the spoons that I actually use. And you see I've got 2 different lengths of spoons there. Again, Very, very light, very, very well balanced. And depending how big my mixing glass is or my cocktail shaker and what I'm stirring down will depend on the size of the spoon that I use. So normally I would quickly just grab this one. I think this is about 30 centimeters long. Absolutely perfect. Bit more expensive, maybe like £5 or £6. Don't hold me to the price, but roughly about there. But it's so quick and so well balanced, and you can actually a lot of the time I do prefer to stir with the teardrop at the end because it's even more balanced than what the spoon is. And again, that'll go for the longer one. Okay, if I'm doing if I've got a bigger mixing glass, the longer spoon will actually be more beneficial. But in all honesty, the 30 centimeter one is the one that I use quite a lot, and this for me is absolutely perfect. You can get them in all different colors. I've just got the bronze ones out here as well. Might just hold them up for the close-up so you can see. There's lots of ones with the teardrops on there. So just have a scout around the website because I think the bar spoons are absolutely perfect. Lots of different options for you. Now, before I get onto the most important part for me, which is the jiggers, I just quickly want to touch on muddlers, which I've got there. There isn't that actually many examples of muddlers in the showroom here. Muddlers, yes, they are important, but all you really have to look at is the two. These have still got the labels on, so we know which sets they come out of in there. All you've really got to look at is the kind of the bottoms, and we'll hopefully show that on screen. That one, the silver one, the copper one, bronze, is exactly the same as that there. What you can see is they've got the little jagged edges in there. It's basically essentially two types of muddler. You get ones with real sort of ridges in like that, and you get ones that are smooth and that. So again, there's no right or wrong for that. You don't really need those ridges, the real kind of those bits for raspberries and the real soft fruit. A flat sort of muddler will do that just as well, like wooden ones, whatever you fancy. But these will definitely work for your more harder and softer fruits, so things like that. So muddlers are not massively important. I have got a very heavy duty one on my videos. It cost about £30, I think, off a Drinkstuff website. But it's very heavy duty and does the work in half the time, if you like. But as I say, muddlers, you could even use a rolling pin. It's no great drama, but you just want something to bash kind of the fruit and sometimes even bruise. The flat ones, the ones with the flat ends, sometimes bartenders would use to bruise mint or just to get the aromas out of mint. However, me, I just prefer to get the mint in the palm of my hand, give it a spank. Job is a good one. So I wouldn't never muddle mint. But that's muddlers. Now, by the magic of editing, there's one crucial piece of equipment that I haven't talked about that I think you need as well, and that's a mixing glass. Completely forgot about it. I brought it in because there isn't one here that I could see. And now, you could, for a mixing glass, you could use a glass cocktail shaker, or you could use the base part of one of your normal cocktail shakers, not a problem. But I actually do like to use a mixing glass, quite sturdy, heavy bottomed, and they don't have the whole, they don't sort of point in at the bottom or the base. So these are brilliant. And again, I think you need these for old fashions and things like that. However, it's something to work up to. If you've got a jug at home, or if you want to use your mixing glass, absolutely fine. Make sure you get them big enough. This, I think, is about 24 ounces, if I remember rightly. Slightly big enough because this will allow you to make 2, 3, maybe 4 old fashions at a time. Because you can add more and more ice to it to get that level of dilution right. So you don't have to, I would struggle to make 2 old fashions in that because the amount of ice that I could get into the glass, whereas this, I can get a lot more ice and make more drinks, or bigger drinks, if you like. So mixing glass, definitely think you need to add that to your collection as well. Now, the final point to get onto in this video is the jiggers. I could literally talk, there's so many different jiggers out there these days. I could literally talk all day about jiggers. Obviously, if you're in the US and Australia and places, I'm not sure about the rest of Europe to be fair, but in the UK we use 25ml and 50ml. Around the world they would go into ounces, so they would use sort of 30ml, 60ml jiggers there, with 15 being half. Things like that. So there's lots and lots of different jiggers on the market. The one in the set, again, is your absolute basic. It's not lined anything inside, so you've either got a 25 or a 50ml, and you struggle to be accurate with these. However, what a lot of jiggers have now got on the market, and I will actually show you, and I've done a video over this, loyal subscribers will see this. This is my jigger from home. It's the Mixology Precision. And I think this is perfect. 25, but I would love this to be in 60 mils, to be fair, 60 mil and 30 mil. However, what this is, 25 mil, 50 mil, and you'll see inside, if I get that right on the close up there, you'll see inside the 25 mil end, everything is lined 5, 10, 15, 20, and then inside the 50 mil end, everything is lined 10, 20, 30, 40. So we can get 5 mil, we can get 15 mil, we can get 20 mil, we can get 30 mil, all out of that Mezclar Precisio. So that's why I like it. It's beautifully balanced as well. I can flick it around very quickly in between cocktails there. I just absolutely love that. But there are lots of other options. As you can see here, this one is a slightly smaller one. So we've got, it's lined here for 10 mil, and I'm assuming up to the brim would be 20. And then this one here is lined at 30 in there. This is a standard kind of 25 mil 50 mil. However, this one is lined at 35 mil inside and 15 mil inside, which is great, but again, you can't do 5 mils. So I've just pulled a whole load off the shelves around the corner there. I'll just go into the little cup ones first, the little tankards. These are quality, I love these. I'm not sure, I've never worked with these, so I'm not sure how cool they'd be to work with. But this one, if I can hold it up on there, on the close up there, this one is a 50 mil measure, of course it is 50, and it's lined every, where are we going? So we've got lines in there of 10, 25, 35 and 50. So again, not super accurate, but more accurate than the normal ones. And then in this one, again, this is another 50 mil jigger. I think this might be 60 mil actually, because we've got a 10 mil. Yeah, so this would be a 60 mil jigger because the lines inside there on that one, we've got a 10 mil, a 25, a 35, and then a 50 mil, which is about ½ centimetre off the top. So that's that one. You'll see this a lot in bartender videos all around the world. Australian, Leandro, I think, on How to Drink uses this as well. This is really cool again, but, and I really do like the fact it's all in one measure, but again, the smallest measurement you'll get in there is 15 mil. You've got nothing for your 5 mils. So there's room for improvement again in this. But as you can see, it's obviously lined on the inside as well, but you've got 15, 20, 30, 45, 60, but the beauty is 75 mil, because when you get into, when you're working in ounces and 2 ounces, you will need 60 mils and 75 mils. So again, that's perfect. I would just absolutely love to see a kind of 5 mil on there. And then we got a kind of, I think these are kind of classed as Japanese sort of style jiggers. Again, this is really, really lovely lined. So this is a 50 mil jigger. Again, line 10, 20, 30, 40. Really stunning in there, if you can see that down there. Love that. Kind of not for your speed, but it's lovely to work with. Again, I wouldn't use it for speed. And this one, again, this is a 25 mil and 50 mil. Again, it's lovely, but I'm kind of speed-wise, I'm not sure quite how to use it, and there's no lines in it at all. So you've just got 25 mil and 50 mil on there, and that's one of the Urban Bar ones. And then just a couple of the others to show you. I really like this one actually. Again, these all just suffer for me compared to the Mezclar. For lines, you know, you've got so many. The only downfall of this one is not a 60 mil jigger, and I think that would be absolutely perfect if that was a 60 mil jigger. But this one's absolutely lovely. Again, hold it between your 2 fingers there. But again, you've just got, it's a 50 mil, 25 mil, but again, you've got lines in there. That has to be 15 mil, even though it doesn't say. That has to be a 15 mil line, and in there, I would guess, oh, unless it's lined. That actually might be the 25 mil line in there and the 50 mil line in there, but without actually pouring, I don't know. And again, we've got these. So again, pretty standard 50 mil, 25 mil jiggers. So there's a lot of ways you can go if you want to pimp up your stuff. Have a dive around the Drinkstuff website and just go from there. But as I say, the starter kit, and I'll put it back on screen now, roughly at time of shooting, it's about 25, 26 pounds for the kit. It's a great starter point, but don't think you have to kind of finish your journey there. There are a lot better products that you can kind of add to, build up to, you know, add a bit every payday, once a month. You don't have to buy it all in one go. Start out with the bare basics and then go up from there. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video, and I will see you in the next one.